Hi, my name is Michelle Rouse and I am running for Wrentham Selectman. In 1998, my husband Tim and I looked at many towns on the 495 corridor. When we finally drove through the center of Wrentham, we knew that we had found our home. Initially, we were taken back by Wrentham's quaint New England charm, but after a little bit of time here, we knew it was a great community that made it so special. My husband and I raised our 3 children here. All were heavily involved in town programs and sports and attended Wrentham Public Schools. Currently, our oldest son is an officer in the U.S. Navy based in San Diego. Our 2 daughters are students at Villanova University, and during their school breaks come home and work as Wrentham Elementary substitute teachers. Because living here has been so impactful for my family, wanting to give something back to it comes naturally. Back in 2005, I was chosen to be on the committee to select Wrentham Public Schools' new superintendent. It seemed like a perfect fit with my professional background in human resources management. After this experience, I ran for the school board, remained on the board for 8 years, and was the vice chair. During this time, I was also a founding member and on the board of directors of Wrentham's Elementary School Trust, West, and was a part of the Capital Planning Board as a school committee's liaison. Being a part of these boards provided me with a better understanding of not only how boards work, but gave me more insight into our outstanding school system and town management. I continue to be heavily involved in town by participating in other search committees, the DPW superintendent, the current town administrator, and the current public school superintendent. Most recently, I was appointed by the governor to join the Wrentham Housing Board. I believe it's important for Wrentham to provide affordable housing for all of our residents, especially our older citizens. I am extremely excited to run for selectman to ensure Wrentham continues to be a healthy and thriving community where we hold genuine respect for each other and for our town. I believe that when we come together, we can drive real change for economic growth, continued excellence in education, growth of town resources, and promote programs for all of our citizens. If elected, I will work together with the other board members and the town administrator to continue to guide our town as it moves forward using the Master Plan 2030. I will also work to ensure that whatever is proposed will be done in a way that is fiscally responsible for all of our residents. I believe that the current board and those who have served before have done an outstanding job dedicating their time and efforts to making Wrentham a special town. With a current opening on the board, I believe it provides an opportunity to bring a different perspective, particularly that of a woman. My voice will not only offer a unique opinion, but it will provide information, views, and concerns from my personal experiences, the work I've done in human resources, on the school and housing boards, and my other volunteer work. These will be helpful in continuing the great work being done by our current board. I thank you for the opportunity to serve the great town of Wrentham. I respectfully ask for your vote and support on April 3rd. Thank you.
I'm Trevor Knott, and I'm running for re-election for the King Philip School Committee. Briefly, for those of you that don't know me, my wife Renee and I moved here over 20 years ago and have raised all 3 of our children here. Our youngest, Ian, is at King Philip High School as we speak. We've felt blessed to be a part of Wrentham ever since we moved here, this wonderful town, centuries old. And from the beginning, I've tried to get involved and do what I can to make a difference. I'm a past moderator and active member of the Congregational Church, past president and active member of the Lions Club, and for 18 years I coached Wrentham youth baseball, soccer, and softball, at least until I got to a point where my kids were too old and I couldn't be effective there anymore. I'm currently on the board of directors at the Wrentham Cooperative Bank and proudly have served for the past 6 years on the King Philip School Committee, where I currently am chair. Now, 6 years, what do we have to show for that? 6 years ago, when I came on the committee, I would say that the district was not in quite the place that it is now. We had an ineffective superintendent that needed to be replaced. We had what some would say was rather lackluster performance in the school. And we had very combative relationships between the three towns that King Philip serves and the administration, and sometimes within the district itself. Since that time, we've stabilized leadership, brought in an effective superintendent who has rallied and solidified his admin team and the teachers that shape the lives of our children every day. We've vastly improved the relationships between the three towns and King Philip, and I think vastly improved the performance of our students in school. In fact, just 2 years ago, King Philip was named into the top tier of high schools, best high schools across America by U.S. News and World Report. By the way, we also combated a pandemic during that time. So why run a re-election after all that good work behind us, you might ask? Well, most importantly, to do the work that needs to be done, to serve the families and especially the children of our town of Wrentham. What does that mean for me? It means taking us from good to great. It means onboarding a new superintendent. As our current superintendent plans to retire, we're going to be bringing an effective leader. I want to be a part of that and make sure that that new superintendent's experience enables him or her to lead the district to even better results in the years ahead. I want to make sure we address some of the educational gaps that came about during the pandemic. Every district experienced them. We need to work hard to make sure those gaps are addressed and our students are all on the right path, every single one of them. And last but not least, I want to make sure that our administrative team and our teachers, and most importantly our students, can stay focused on their education. Special interests, far ends of the political spectrum, there's no place for that in our schools. And I'll work hard to make sure that we stay focused on kids first, students first, and education first at King Philip. So I'll close by asking for your vote in April. Your vote for me is a vote for experience, but also, as I hope you can tell, a vote for commitment and passion for our town of Wrentham, for all of our families, but especially for our students and the kids of Wrentham. It's a great place to grow up, a great place to live. I feel blessed to be here, and I appreciate your vote and all your support for the past 6 years.
Hello friends and residents of Wrentham. My name is Joe Cronin and I'm running to be elected to the King Philip School Committee. I'm very proud to say that I've lived in the Plainville and now Wrentham community for the better part of the last 20 years. I'm a proud graduate of Braintree High School, but more importantly, I'm also an honorably discharged United States Marine Corps veteran, where I served before, during, and after September 11th and all throughout Operation Enduring Freedom. I've received many awards and accomplishments along the way, to include the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and many others. Lastly, I received 2 consecutive meritorious promotions for outstanding service before finally leaving active duty as a non-commissioned officer. I've been happily married to my beautiful wife Sarah for the last 11.5 years, and we have 2 beautiful children who we are currently and will be bringing up through the Wrentham and KP school system. I have a great respect for each and every single hard-working family in this community who entrust their children's development to our respective schools, despite any single difference in beliefs and in values, and all the while ensuring we are keeping schools a welcoming place for all who attend. Encouraging family involvement, fostering healthy debate, asking tough questions along with strong lines of communication are an integral part of ensuring that we are getting the most return for our family's investment while our children are enrolled in the King Philip Regional School District. We see many changes this coming year to include welcoming a new superintendent. It will be key that we develop a respectful and impactful working relationship with them right out the gate. Along with an established and friendly relationship with some of the current sitting members from each town, I look forward to bringing leadership, an open mind, professional approach, and an exemplary work ethic to this committee and community. I certainly appreciate all of you taking a moment to hear my message. I encourage all of you to please find me on Facebook at Joe Cronin for King Philip School Committee, where I'll be updating throughout the campaign. More importantly, I would be honored to gain your vote in April, as I look forward to getting right to work if elected. Thank you very much, and Semper Fidelis.
Hello, my name is Rob English. I live at 1351 West Street in Wrentham. My wife and I have lived there for the last 25 years. We have 2 children and 1 granddaughter. None of them live with us, I'm happy to say. I'm running as a candidate, a write-in candidate for the planning board. And obviously I'm not on the ballot because I just took this decision earlier this week. But I really felt strongly that it was an appropriate time for me to give back to the community. So I'm 69 years old. I run a wholesale distribution business that I founded 34 years ago. We're based in Franklin. I have the benefit of small business experience. I have served on town committees, not in the town of Wrentham, but 15 years prior to living in Wrentham. For the 15 years prior to living in Wrentham, we lived in Franklin and I did serve there. But I see Wrentham is coming up to some challenges in the future, and with my background in chemicals and small business, I think I can probably make a contribution. So I've been following the planning board meetings a little closer of late, and it's my hope that I can make a contribution to them and participate. I don't bring a mountain of engineering knowledge, and I am very passionate about the community. So I did participate in the MAPC, the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission questionnaires, and that defines much of what Wrentham will do in coming years. So we need to grow carefully, responsibly, and not outrun our infrastructure, which is a concern for me. Our water system, the newest well in the town of Wrentham, I think, is about 60 years old. Wells don't last forever. So as a write-in candidate, you'll see no name in the planning board ballot, so you have to write my name in. It's Rob English, just like it sounds. I'm available to talk to anybody that's interested to learn more, and would appreciate your consideration on election day for planning board as a write-in candidate. So as a write-in candidate, it's important that you write my name in. It is Rob English, and my address, which is 1351 West Street. And I think I'll have some stickers made if that's an easier approach for people. Unless you can write really small, then you can probably get the whole thing in. So thanks for your consideration.
Hi, my name is Sheena Clutterbuck, once known as Miss Frizzell, and I'm a former Wrentham grade school teacher. With a master's degree in elementary education, I spent 8 years educating through innovative and hands-on learning experiences for my 5th grade students. And during that time, I gained tremendous support and recognition for my educational efforts within the school community, and was awarded the Teacher of the Year by the United Regional Chamber of Commerce in 2013. After leaving my position to raise my 2 children, now 5- and 7-year-old students at the Delaney School, I served several years as a board member for the local chapter of the International Moms Club and my children's local preschool. Currently, Vice President of the West Foundation and committee member of the Elementary PTO, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to serve on the Wrentham Elementary School Committee. I'm extremely excited to be running for a seat on the Wrentham Elementary School Committee. For decades, I've had a passion for the betterment of public education, honoring the foundation for why it was formed, to provide every child with equitable schooling and the opportunity to access academic programs that challenge and inspire, while also prioritizing their physical and mental well-being. There's no denying that the past few years have presented unprecedented and unimaginable challenges for the institution that I have dedicated my professional life to. So now it's time to revisit the principles of public education and what it stands for. Our children's futures depend on it. The Wrentham Elementary School District has always strived to maintain a standard of excellence, and I want to be a part of ensuring its continued success. I will encourage continued efforts and programs that will strengthen that home-school connection, inevitably ensuring the mental health and the development of our students. Additionally, academic curriculum that goes back to the basics, while challenging their young minds and exciting them about the world that awaits. I look forward to meeting more students and parents and members of the community in the upcoming month, as I welcome engaging conversations on how we can all collaborate for the greater good of our school community. So please, mark your calendars for Monday, April 3rd, and vote for me, Sheena Clutterbuck, as one of the next members of the Wrentham Elementary School Committee.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Weber, and I am here to introduce myself as a candidate for the upcoming Wrentham Elementary School Committee. Currently, I am a mother of two amazing little kids, one coming up to kindergarten and one starting his first year of preschool in the fall. My husband and I moved to Wrentham about 8 years ago. He transferred from the Air Force to continue on his family's local concrete company, where I now work as an office manager. Our kids spend many hours in the office with us, along with their grandparents. Life is busy, but our family is rooted in this community. Just like every other parent, caregiver, and grandparent, we want what is best for the kids. I'm not the loudest or the most outspoken, and I generally don't place myself front and center, but I listen and I am passionate about the future of the children in this community. When we first moved back, before having our kids, I worked as an assistant in a local care center and realized that growing up comes fast, and kids are the future. They have their whole lives ahead of them. This is their time to grow, flourish, and discover. Having a committee who has nothing but the best in mind for our kids is a fundamental start to providing them with the safety and enjoyment that they need in order to be kids. I don't think any one specific type of person is the best fit for a committee, in all honesty. A committee is made up of all types of people from all areas of the community, and that's what creates an equal and caring environment. Life is different for everyone in all their different stages along the way, but I believe that a well-rounded committee makes it far more approachable and brings up opinions and ideas that might not otherwise come up. Together, we can continue to bring forth topics, both big and small, that may need attention. I am excited to see where this journey as a community takes us, and I would be incredibly honored to have your vote on April 3rd. Thank you for your time, and I hope today brings you plenty of happiness and laughter.
Hello, Wrentham residents. My name is Veronica Gonzalez, and I'm running for re-election to the Wrentham School Committee. I may have a familiar face to some viewers out there, as I am a KP graduate of the wonderful class of 1991. After completing my undergraduate degree in elementary education from Assumption and my master's degree in reading from Bridgewater, I was hired to teach 8th grade at KP Middle School under the leadership of Mr. Marino and Mr. Rice. From there, I went on to teach 4th grade in Medfield and then became a reading specialist in Sharon before marrying my husband, who was a C-130 pilot with the U.S. Air Force. Together, we moved to Tucson, Arizona to start our family. 10 years ago, after my husband retired from more than 20 years of service, we moved back to the area and chose Wrentham as our home. It was an easy decision, being familiar with the area and having family nearby. Since we moved here, we have made wonderful friends in our community and have enjoyed watching our 3 children blossom with all the opportunities Wrentham provides for youth. Personally, I have found a sense of fulfillment in the area of volunteering. I've coached youth sports, been a Cub Scout leader and a PAC 131 board member, assisted with my daughter's Girl Scout troop, participated in volunteer groups for the Wrentham Public Schools, and most recently served as chair of the Wrentham School Committee for the last 2 years. When I was first elected to the school committee in 2020, it was in the height of the pandemic, and if you recall, the town election was actually delayed until June. Schools closed early that year, as COVID was still new and spreading, and we hadn't yet learned of its significance or lasting effects. It was daunting to join a committee I'd always held with such high regard, to find myself suddenly participating in meetings remotely with people I had never met in person and making unfathomable decisions that would affect every household. Traditional agenda items, such as overseeing the budget process and establishing school policies, were put on the back burner. Instead, we found ourselves scrambling to keep up with ever-changing guidance and limitations set in place by DESE and the government. There's never a one-size-fits-all when it comes to teaching children, And as a committee, we knew it would be just as impossible to satisfy the wants and needs of everyone during the pandemic. However, given the challenges we faced, we were still able to celebrate successes. With pandemic relief money, we were able to provide Chromebooks for every student in need of one during remote and hybrid learning. We also built 6 outdoor learning spaces with concrete pads and benches. We were able to provide summer learning programs for students who needed the extra boost to close learning gaps, and started a Bridge to KP program for students entering 7th grade. And we increased our mental health team to 4 counselors and 2 psychologists for 900 students, the best teacher-to-student ratio in any of the surrounding towns. In addition to accommodating needs that came from the pandemic, we carried on with other improvements for our school district as best as we could. For example, after many years of chipping away at lowering the cost of kindergarten tuition, we were finally able to eliminate it this past fall. We also were able to improve the security system on the school grounds with additional cameras and a new check-in system in all 3 offices between the 2 buildings. We hired a new Director of Student Services after Karen McNamara retired from 13 years in Wrentham. Most recently, we applied for a grant from the Massachusetts School Building Authority for a major renovation of the Roderick School, and were notified in November of our acceptance into the program. Today, as COVID funding winds down and pandemic after effects continue, we are faced with ongoing challenges. The mental health issues among our youth are real. Such impacts from the pandemic as isolation, academic disruption, loss of income, and food insecurity significantly increased stress on our children. Additionally, the academic learning gaps persist. While I believe we have made great progress in fostering a positive, successful, and inclusive learning environment during a challenging time, our work is not yet done. I wish to continue collaborating with fellow school committee members to fine-tune our educational goals and policies to ensure they align with today's school vision, mission, and core values, and that our Wrentham students receive the best possible education. Specifically, if elected to a second term, my focus will be in the following areas. First, I will advocate for our children who struggle with social-emotional learning loss. Second, I will focus on continuing to improve school safety. Third, I will work with our superintendent and town officials to promote the necessity of a major renovation of the Roderick School and explore options for how best to proceed. To learn more about my experience over the last 3 years and my goals for the next 3, please visit my website, gonzalezforwrentham.com. I hope to see you at the polls on April 3rd, and I thank you for your support.